What's up, guys? Matt here. Anyway, I had a friend of mine just recently. He asked me if I could quickly give him a video on how to properly maintain a pistol. He's a new pistol owner. Just bought a 1911, which I love those pistols, by the way. They absolutely love them. Fortunately, I don't have one personally, so I can't actually show you the specifics on how to take it down. The closest I have to it is probably my M&P when it comes to internal components, except the fact that it's, well, striker fire, doesn't have a safety, and 40 caliber instead of 45 and all that fun stuff. But anyway, I just wanted to give you guys a quick little show of how I do this. This is the same method I've been using for the last 10 years. It's always worked for me. So rule one, remove ammunition source. Clear the chamber, right? Always clear the chamber. Okay. So basically, every pistol is a mechanical device, right? Basically, it means it's constantly racking. Metal is grinding on metal, rubbing against metal, so you need to be sure that there's enough lubrication on it so it doesn't get too worn, and it also helps prevent against rust. So if you guys are wondering, yes, I paint my pistols, guys. I love painting my pistols. It's something I do, alright? So I carry them so often that I would actually get rust marks, and it looks like we need to repaint this one too. Then the finish would actually get worn out from all the sweat from me wearing them. So basically, I paint, gives an extra layer of rust protection on it. So anyway, let's get to it. So, if this is a 1911 like my buddy's, it would be a completely different setup. There's a bushing up front here. Some, depending on how tight the frame is, would need a bushing tool. You have to turn it to the side. Others, you just need to do a couple different things to do it. Line these up. A 1911 is different when it comes to taking apart. If you're a little worried about that, just go ahead and check out. There's a million YouTube videos out there that'll show you how to do it. But for the most part, the internal components of pistols are pretty much the same process when it comes to cleaning. So I'll just show you this one here. This is my M&P 40 again. Lock the slide to the rear. Again, cleared. Put down the takedown lever. Bring this forward. There's two ways to do this with the M&P. One, there's a little lever you push down inside here, or just do it the simple way. Pull the damn trigger. Then you have the recoil spring, and the barrel, and the upper. Alright. So this is basically my method that I always do. So I use CLP. It's something I've been using for years. But there's all different types that you could use. I mean, this is my rifle cleaning kit. There's Hooper's number 9. Some people love that stuff. But me, I've always just stuck with just straight plain old CLP. So now what I do is take my little AP brush. Had this thing for years. I just kind of spray a little bit on there so it gets all nice and foamy. So the parts you really want to focus on the internal components of the upper of the pistol is you're looking down here, you see all the rails on the internal side. A lot of crap gets built up in there. It just does. So you just got to make sure that's cleared for the most part. And all these metal components, you can see where there's some wear on the inside with the different colorations and everything on it. So basically what I do is I just hit those places a little extra with lube. But for the most part, I'll just show you how I start. So I got the lube on this. I hit the rails. Just like that. Then I hit all the metal components with that, including up in here, guys, where the barrel's rubbing nonstop. Get a little bit in there. And then I take my little handy dandy Q-tips here. Just take it, put it in the slide grooves. Go back and forth. It's not bad. That's mainly the coloration of the lube that I use. If it was carbon, it would be like jet black. So the last time I cleaned this, I think, was about 2 months ago. Now, if you haven't shot it, first I want to say, when you're done shooting, clean it, right? Absolutely clean it after every time you're done shooting. You don't want carbon buildup, because if you have that carbon buildup, one thing I learned in Iraq is, we always cleaned our weapons. We got in trouble because we cleaned them so much, some of the bluing would be gone, but that's how Marines did shit. But anyway, one of the things that you learn is this thing called Murphy's freaking Law. So if anything can go wrong, it will go wrong in the absolute worst possible time. So make sure when you're done shooting that you go in here and you clean up all the crap that's in there, because you never know when that stuff's gonna create a malfunction. I hit all the little places where anything can hide, carbon, dust, all that fun stuff. That, and then I take my other handy dandy rag here, just wipe the internal parts out. That's all it takes for the upper receiver right there. Okay, that's the upper. Now here comes the lower. Basically do the same thing, guys. A little lube on that. Mainly hit the metal parts. Because what good is lube going to really do on polymer, which is the frame of this? I always check the magazine well. A lot of times dust will get built up in there, so I just always rub a brush through there real quick. Actually pretty damn clean. Like I said, I just cleaned this a little while ago. Or about. I got that done. Like I said, I'll get a new Q-tip here. Just put it in the areas that any crap could be hiding. Like look at that, there's a little bit of carbon hidden in there. And then I get under the grooves here. Alright. It's basically how you take care of the lower, and then take a rag, wipe it down. You don't want to leave a thick layer of the lube on it, especially if you live in like desert area, California, Arizona, anything like that. Because if sand comes, it's going to stick to all the lube and it's going to create a malfunction. So yeah, that's what I do for that part, the lower receiver. I got the mag welf here. And now comes the internal components, which is the barrel and the spring. So what I do with the barrel is basically the same thing. First I'll show you real quick. I've shot easily a couple thousand rounds through this pistol. I've had it for years. It's my absolute favorite pistol. I actually traded a Glock 22 in for it, and I'll tell you what, it's worth it. I love M&Ps. But if you take a look at the rail here, I don't know if I'm in focus, but you'll see where it gets worn from where it's constantly rubbing on the inside whenever I shoot and rack it. So you want to focus a little bit more lube on those areas. But to start out, I always do the same thing, guys. Get a little lube on the brush. Go over the barrel. Alright, so I look at it. There's, sometimes you might want to go down here. Nah, nothing. It's pretty clean for the most part. Then just wipe it down. Like I said, you got to wipe down all the extra crap. So one big thing is different people say a different thing about this. Some people say punch the bore every single time. Me, I don't always do that, because one thing I've learned over time is when you have a little bit of buildup on the inside, it actually helps tighten your groups a little bit. But what I do every time is I usually go up to a light source. You can probably see it a little bit right there. See how the light's reflecting in there? It means it's clean. You don't see any crazy buildup or anything like that inside of it. You see the rifling, you see the wall, you're good to go. There's a little bit of carbon in there, no big deal, guys. Like I said, it just helps tighten the group. But if you start seeing like big clumps on various sides or different sides, it looks off balanced. Or you look in here and the entire internal lining excuse me, is all black, then you need to punch it. Now if you're looking here and you can't see anything through the barrel at all, that means you have something blocking it, so you absolutely have to punch it. But just for ha-has here, I mean, it's clean barrel, but I'll show you what I do to punch it. Here's my little punching brush. Push it through, punch. No big deal. So there's different things you could use. I use that. And I'll put this little guy on it afterwards. Just punch that through there. And I take a look. Clean as a whistle. Alright. Then when it comes to the spring here, all I'll really do is I'll take a quick look at it, see if there's anything built up. I might just quickly wipe it down with a brush. Just kind of pat it down. No big deal. And then this is when I get to the important parts of it, which is where you start looking at the wear of the pistol. You see like various areas, like right here, there's some wear. There's wear up here where it attaches on, or where it moves back and forth. So what I do, take my little CLP, put it on an actual Q-tip by itself. Then I look at those little areas, put a little extra lube on those areas. That's all. Nothing fancy, guys. Just a little bit there. I don't really brush hard. I just kind of pat it because you want a little bit on there. And after that, next step is simply put the damn thing together, right? So let's go back the way you came. Make sure that's in there. M&P are great. You slide back on the rail. Lever pops up. Okay, once it's together, what I always do is a quick little function check. So remember, I got a little lube on there, so what I always do is run the slide a little bit. And that actually puts the lube back and forth on the places that really need to get to it. And then you do your function check. Once again, it's cleared. You know, you Safe Patrol out there, go crazy online. Then I pull the trigger. Then I keep pressure on the trigger while it's down there. Slide it back, nice little Beretta bite there, nice. Slide it there in the back, and then I release till it gets to that release. Functioning just fine.